So the director of Prisoners gives us another dark look into a very unsettling world of the law, drugs, and revenge with Sicario. In the lawless border area stretching between the United States and Mexico, idealistic FBI agent Kate Macer is enlisted by an elite government task force official to aid in the escalating war against drugs. Led by an enigmatic consultant with a questionable past, the team sets out on a clandestine journey, forcing Kate to question everything she believes in order to survive. As she descends further into this dark and violent reality, she will come to discover a horrifying truth that will haunt her forever. So indeed, I was immaculately impressed with director Denis Villeneuve when he did Prisoners 2 years ago, which topped my best films of 2013. And indeed, once I saw the trailer for this film, I was indeed hooked. I could not wait for it because it looked just as dark and tense, as gritty and fantastically looking as Prisoners was. And there's a lot of good stuff in this film, including an amazing, fantastically talented cast and just the cinematography by Roger Deakins. There's so much amazing stuff in this film, but there's a few things in the film, not too much, but some things that kind of left me wanting a little bit of something bigger in a certain way. But just talking about how tense this film is, and through the magic of Villeneuve's direction, Roger Deakins' cinematography, the editing, the music of this film, there's such a masterfully crafted skill of just letting the mood soak in so deeply. Same as Prisoners, that same thing is here, allowing shots to just really play out in just masterfully framed and composed type of fashions to just let the depth and motion and just the reality of this film really sink deeply into it, because it is a very dark, somewhat graphic, and certainly unsettling type of film, because there is a lot of stuff right from the beginning of this film. Just seeing there is so much of a darker, seedier, more violent, and just soulless type of quality that is just pulsating underneath the surface of what these individuals that we're following in this film are very much getting their hands very deeply into, and everything, that they're just an evil out there, a human evil that is just so dark and just so vile and so remorseless, so merciless, that just you're getting very much deeply soaked into the reality of these drug cartels, how absolutely violent, vicious, and completely without any type of empathy that they have. The violent nature that you see right from the beginning of the film, these people are terrifying. And just how this film just soaks you into that so much, with having Roger Deakins' shots just linger and just soak, like you said, soak you in, absorb you so deeply into the tense fiber of this film. It is absolutely fantastic. Just, again, how the direction is, how it just allows everything to just sit there and just soak in with the performances of this film and overall tone that it goes for, and just how the editing just allows it to be conservative and just holds on amazing shots in this film, allowing the film to just have a very good slow burn to it, that you could certainly have someone try to make this a lot more kinetic, a little bit more frenetic, cut a lot of things down to just kind of make it more snappy, but just how this film just pulls you in slowly at a time is just fantastic direction that I think is the strong suit of Denis Villeneuve. Fantastic type of stuff. And just, again, Roger Deakins, I just gush with this guy when I saw Skyfall, when I saw Prisoners, what I've seen from this guy. He is one of the most magnificent eyes in the cinematography business. This guy is fantastic, and this film just has such a great visual to it that it's very interesting that the film just takes such a realistic approach to so many of the visuals in this thing, that a lot of the dark nighttime scenes just, they have like right after twilight hour, you still see some beautiful vistas, but it's very real that you're not getting a lot of key light trying to fill in a lot of the shadows, whatnot. It is a dark film trying to soak you into that darkness, and the visuals by Deakins just strike that chord so strongly that you just feel that it is real. It's not so manufactured to create mood. It just shows you the reality of the situation and just aids in the grit of this film overall. But moving on to the performances in this film, obviously Emily Blunt is our main protagonist in this film, the person that we're following, seeing everything mainly through her eyes, and she does a magnificent performance here, just creating a character that has so much humanized, relatable qualities to her that you see right from the first scenes of the film, that she has a very human reaction when she sees some very gruesome, startling revelations after a straight up sort of kidnapping raid that they're trying to do at the beginning of the film. You see a human emotion with this character, and it follows through excellently throughout the whole film, that she shows so much range and so much depth with this character that at no point does she become jaded, even though she is getting so much deeper and so much more kind of swallowed up in a certain way, that she's gotten so deep into this dark type of world that she's being pulled into, being kept in the dark about things, secrets being kept away from her, the agendas of everything, but she's just so compelled to know exactly where all this is going, because she just sees so many things that seem wrong, but she needs to know why about it. But it's not a character that ever becomes altered by it. She becomes affected by it because she's such an emotional, strong type of person. But Emily Blunt portrays the character in so many fantastic type of ways that just continue to make her the conduit for the audience to really just see the pain, the emotion, just everything that is wrong with what all these people are doing in the film. It's just an amazing performance of what she does here, with so much nuance and just so much relatable, empathetic, sympathetic qualities to what she brings forth, but it's still a strong character in a certain way. But she is in way over her head in this situation that this character is in. Is an amazing type of story in that type of way that you bring someone in. It was very much done straightforward, by the book, procedural type of stuff. She's going way off the grid with these people she doesn't know exactly who they are. They're not being straightforward, not being open, and her curiosity just keeps driving her further and further down into realizing the rock bottom type of scary reality of these things. And this is a really good week for me with Josh Brolin. I saw him at Everest. He was really good in that. This film, he's just great. I loved what he was doing in this film. Just so much of a comfortable, charismatic type of performance in this film. This guy who works for the government in a certain capacity, that leading the sort of charge with this mysterious operation that's going on. The guy has such a great quality about him that he just brings so much charisma to this character. Certain odd sort of casualness that you see when all these other guys are sitting there at the conference table. They're all wearing business suits. They're all looking straight-laced and everything. This guy's sitting there in sandals and khakis and a t-shirt, whatnot. It's very much a different type of character that absolutely fantastically entertained me and engaged me throughout the whole film, that he shows a lot of great quality to just have moments where the film does lift up the levity to really kind of engage you with the characters, give you a little bit of humorous moments here and there, that these are characters that are charismatic and very much engaging. I thought Josh Brolin just did a fantastic performance here, but indeed Benicio del Toro in this film just brings gravity like you would not believe. That is one of those characters that doesn't have a whole hell of a lot to say, but everything he says carries so much weight. It just has a certain mysterious, kind of creepy quality to it, that you know that this guy is more than what he's trying to allude to, being that there's a whole lot more with this character as you go along in the film, and you get peeks into exactly who he is, where he came from, what his story is, that Benicio del Toro plays him with the absolute perfect beats of just giving you just enough to connect with him, but also still being amazingly compelled by this character, riveted by him, that you're just so interested in the mystique of this character, because you know this is a guy who's not entirely on the up and up. This guy is more on the outskirts of what you would consider procedure, and it just like I said, so much gravity with his character and his performance overall that just pulls you further into the film. You're just compelled by it every second, but Denis Villeneuve still makes the film entertaining to a certain extent, that there are things in the film that don't become so, trying to make it so heavy and serious. There's still some moments in the film where you're kind of entertained by some things, even though you know these are completely wrong things for anyone in these positions to be doing, but it still creates a sense that the film still has something to engage you with beyond just the heavy tone that it's going for. But it's just the fact that this film is so tense. Any scene where there's guns drawn, guns to be fired or whatnot, certain sequences like when they're early on in the film where they're on the highway trying to get back from Mexico, it's just so tense how everything just plays out so tightly on such a long drawn out type of thing. You just get it, it's just like pulling the wire tighter and tighter. So expertly executed. Certain sequences in the film just hit it so damn well that you're just gripped with the tension of this film so much. But I feel like the one thing that the film starts out, and so much of the film is so much a broad spectrum type of thing of these people trying to shut down the sort of war on drugs to a certain extent, trying to attack this sort of drug cartel in a certain way, go through all this work and everything, trying to find the way to get to this certain person to shut down an entire drug cartel. But as the film goes along, you see that the focus becomes much more narrow in a certain way, and I felt that was the one thing that I was kind of off about walking out of the film, that everything else was such a broad spectrum type of thing that you felt that this encompassed so much of what these people do, and just felt like the reasons overall just ended up being so narrow instead of being a broad spectrum type of thing that probably would have hit a lot harder. But still, the execution of what is in the film is very unsettling. It's very tight. It's very strong too. But I felt for the purposes of the story, I felt that it just needed a wider punch. But there's still fantastic scenes of this film where just like you're almost torn between these characters because they are so engaging. They're so charismatic in a certain way. Some of them are extremely relatable and emotional too, that there's certain moments in the film where you're torn between these people because, one, the performances again are just magnificent in this film, that you just, everyone you connect with in a certain different type of way. And when certain things happen, when there's conflicts, you just don't know exactly which way you really want to hold things together, because it's such masterfully crafted scenes on every single level. Even though some of the story elements there at the end of the film I felt didn't quite have the strong weight that they could have had overall, I still think Sicario is a damn good movie. That it just, again, the weight, the tone of this film, how everything's just so expertly crafted at every single artistic level in this thing is absolutely up to the standards I would expect from this filmmaker. Definitely one of the top films I've seen this year. And just overall, I just thought everything was great. The music in this film even was just like, has such a great quality. Just this heavy grit in the music itself, a pulsating quality. Just this weight in the music was just so fantastic too. Just everything used just hits it right on the mark. And I think everything just was fantastic in this film. I could gush and go on about it and try to find new words to explain the same things, but simply said, Sicario is hell of a worthwhile wait. That I thought it was supposed to come out about 2 weeks ago, but it was only a limited release, so I had to wait and wait and wait. And now I've finally seen it, and it's like, whew, damn good movie. Definitely worth seeing. So, if you have seen Sicario, post your comments below about what you feel about this film, because I hope a lot of other people, like a lot of the reviews that are coming out, also critically acclaimed. I hope everyone is really enjoying this film and finding the intensity of this film to be very striking too. There's just so many things to get into if I want to spoil it, but I don't intend to do that for you guys. Go in and see this thing and just be impressed, hopefully. Soak you in and get you going. Fantastic type of stuff. Even though some of the story elements aren't so strong, still great stuff. So post your comments below if you enjoyed the review. thumbs up is fantastically appreciated. I hope sometime in the next week I'll be able to see The Martian, because that's also getting fantastic reviews and surprising information coming out from those reviews about the tone and style and the engaging quality of it and the quality of Ridley Scott's work in that film. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that in due time. But also, Forever Horror Month will roll on. There are several reviews in post-production now, such as a full retrospective on the entire Final Destination franchise, and a review of The Dead Zone, directed by David Cronenberg, from the novel by Stephen King. So that and much more is coming up throughout Forever Horror Month in October. So stick around, guys. Post your comments below about Sicario, and I hope you're very much excited for what else is coming up this month. So thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.